So, yes, again, today I'm gonna be mean. Mean? How? You ask yourself? Well, I'm gonna give you more books to put on your TBR because today, this video is me gushing all about Darcy mcguire books. So, this is. Okay, give me one moment because it has a serious name and I just want to. Not annoying. Okay, yeah, anyway. Um yeah, forget that. But yeah, so I started this series in the wrong order with book 3 back in March. I found this on NetGalley and it just sounded so fun. So book 3 is all about Penny, a servant who works for a duke. The duke might be having some secrets. He might be a bit sketchy. But Penny also has some secrets of her own. So they're both going around kind of hiding stuff from each other. But of course, love happens. And honestly, love in this book, one of the main characters, Penny, is a servant. I feel like quite a lot of historical romances, you have both of the main characters are either nobility or they're quite rich. Here, one of them is a servant. And I very much like it. It's a nice change of pace. I love it so much. But yeah, this is just a great book. It is like 80% romance, 10% spy, and 10% spiciness. So if you're in the mood for that, this is your book. After that, I picked up A Most Unlikely Lady, which is the fourth book. This is all about Ivy. Ivy works in again words works in again. Why am I forgetting the most fine of words? Orphanage, in an orphanage, and very early on in the book, someone breaks into the orphanage. It's like, okay, what's gonna happen now? But she manages to hurt the intruder because Ivy knows how to fight back. And yes, again, a love story happens between Ivy and a policeman who kind of helps her with the intruder, and also like, yeah, she also kind of ends up fighting back this because in all these books in the whole series, there's a secret society of nobles who do trafficking. They get ladies, they get servants, and they traffic them over to France to sell them as sex slaves. That's kind of the big bad thing that's happening in the background, which is no, we don't like it. I do kind of like it in a way that, like, as a story point, I love it because I feel like most books where you have like a sort of mystery thing happening, at least in books that I come across, either there's a kidnapping or there's murder. Here, well, yeah, it's a kidnapping, but it's sex trafficking, which is not really I feel like you read about, at least not in historical romances, in historical books. So I like how that is something that's happened in this book. That's something that's happening in the background. It's not a fun thing, but it's a nice story plotline. I love that. So yeah, these two were my first introduction to this series, and I loved that one, and I loved the second fourth book, A Most Unlikely Lady. Both of them are just great in different ways. They're different, but still amazing. I mean, I would say some authors write kind of the same book over and over again. These books are different. So, like, if you don't like the one of them, you might like the other one. And then I just finished, sorry, book 1 and 2, The Secret Life of a Lady and A Lady's Lesson in Scandal. So, The Secret Life of a Lady is all about Hannah. Hannah is the ward of a duchess. This duchess is a widower, has a lot of money and no sense, a according to the world. She's also uh, in friends with the queen, and she runs a kind of scheme of like a lady spies, which is kind of what these ladies turn out to be. And they all get training in self defense and in combats, and it's just such fun, like backdrop of this whole series. And yeah, in this one we have Hannah, who is actually she's just a ward. She's not. That was again kind of like Penny. Penny is a servant. Hannah is a ward, so she moves in these circles of the nobility and the high society, but she's not really. She doesn't really have her own dowry or whatnot. Um, and yeah, Hannah finding love, and also Hannah fighting back the patriarchy and yeah, kicking ass is kind of what this book is about, I would say. And it's the best. And then we have Our Lady's Lesson in Scandal, which is Millicent's story. Millicent is a noble woman, but she's in the beginning of the book she's being married off, and she doesn't want to be married to this old guy. So she ruins herself by getting caught kissing another guy, and because of that, she has to kiss. She has to kiss. She has to marry this second guy. So in the beginning, it's marriage of convenience, but surprise, surprise, they both fall for each other. But also, it's kind of fun how this book kind of takes place over just like two. No, actually, I would say it takes place over like maybe a month, but like most of it takes place over like 1 week. But it's still, yeah, I love all the characters in this one. And I would say also, you kind of one of the bad guys you can guess because there's several bad guys around in the background and around. But one of them you can't really guess, and I kind of like how one of them is kind of a bit more, a bit more hidden, a bit more non. You can't guess who them are. I suppose in a way I could guess because I had read this book, which happens after that book, but I didn't remember all the things that happened because they refer to people things happening in the past of this book. But I didn't remember everything that they talked about in this book, so I was a bit surprised here and there. And yeah, I kind of like how that managed to surprise me, even though I knew some stuff. I was kind of thinking, am I misremembering? Is that how that happens, or that happens? And yeah, I just love this series so much. It's historical romance. It has high society. It has women kicking the patriarchy's ass. It has yeah, and it has people, women literally kicking ass because they all know how to fight. And it has, I mean, one of the main things that I look for in books is underdogs. And I mean, I would say most women really in historical romances or historical books are underdogs because of women don't having power back in the day. I mean, you could say we still don't really have power, depending on where you are. But yeah, I love this book's series so much. It has just great spice, great romance. Uh, some of them slow burn. I would say quite a lot of them are slow burn really, but they're still yeah, and they're also not that long. Like they're under 300 pages. So if you want something quick but very delightful and very entertaining and kick ass. Check out this series. And the last book in the series, at least so far as we know, and I suppose maybe we'll get some novellas. That could happen. I mean, there's lots, as always, there's lots of side characters, and not every character has a love story. So that could happen. Could be fun. But yeah, the next story that we will know is happening is Philippa's story, which is coming out in October, and that's a sapphic story. And yeah, that's all about the widower who ends up, well, I'm guessing she ends up falling in love again because it's a sapphic story of her, yeah, love. And I mean, we had bits of her here and there, but we haven't had her story at all. Like, of course, I mean, because each of these books have a different main character. And being in the head of Philippa or Pippa for a whole book, yeah, I'm looking forward to it so much. It's yeah. this book series needs to be, I would say, on everyone's agenda, or most people's agenda, I would say. Like, if you like historical romance, or if you want to try historical romance, if you like spy books, if you like mystery books, and you don't mind romance, I would say check out this series. I mean, there's 4 books for you out right now to binge, so it's just great time to pick it up, really. And then in October, you'll have the 5th book. So yeah, love this series so, so, so much.